phone number or an email address, always repeat it twice. And people will catch
Well, we're
it.
going to repeat it again when everybody gets here. Hey,
Okay.
Ed, can you hear me?
Okay.
Ed, hey, can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me okay?
Okay. Yes, but you're sideways. So can you turn your phone? Are you on a cell phone?
I am.
Turn it so that you're right
There we go.
Now,
How's that?
Ed Days. Well.
Hey, I might have to, I've got to make a little adjustment here because.
Okay.
Your sound is good. We can hear you well.
Can you hear the bell?
Okay, there we go.
The bell was the beginning of our meeting. Welcome everyone to the Rotary Club of Bedford, Indiana. I am your host, Ray Briggs, as president of the Rotary Club for this year. And now we have quite a few announcements I want to bring up. So everybody bear with me while I share this with you. First of all, I want to thank everybody, which I did not do last week, for helping with the clean sweep. We want to continue to do this next spring. We'll do it again. We picked up about 70 pounds of trash and delivered it to our local trash emplacement place. And anyway, we had a great time together. We did Mitchell Road down to 23rd Street. We also did 16th Street down to the Pizza Hut. That looks pretty good today. I drove by there yesterday and I didn't see any paper on the street at all. So we like to encourage our whole community to keep it clean and pick it up. All right, thank you again for everybody that participated on that project. We have a couple things coming up. Number one, the 26th, this Saturday, the 26th, we have the District 6580 Fall Leadership Conference. It's on the computer, on a Zoom program, and that's available to everybody. It should have been sent to all of your lines or all of your computers. That'll be from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. this next Saturday. It's Spotlighting Sharing. That's the title of the activity. Spotlighting Sharing. And then Monday, September the 28th, we have a meeting at Donna and Ken Brumbaugh's house at 8:30. That'll be a board meeting for the Rotary Club. I'll say that Monday, the 28th, 8:30 a.m. at Ken and Donna's house, board meeting. All right. Going down the line a little bit to Saturday, October the 10th, there's another Zoom summit by the Rotary Club of District. The Zone Summit is for the middle of Indiana and the middle of the United States. And it will be, again, open to everybody in Rotary. And that should be on your computer as well. And everyone should take a look at the new Facebook that the District 6580 has. I have a note from Chad Dimmitt, who is in charge of the Facebook page for the district. Please tune in and check it out. What you do first is put on your computer facebook.com/district6580. That will get you into the district newsletter. I'm going to say that one more time, facebook.com/district6580, and that will get you onto the district news from or on Facebook. Next week's meeting is going to be Karen Du Bois. She will let us know what that meeting will be. All right, this morning we have Rowena Cross Najabi, who is responsible for our program. We're going to hear from the 5 remaining school board appointees, or whatever we want to say, active members, some of them are. And it's good to have you with us. And Rowena, you're on.
Good morning, or actually afternoon now. Thank you guys all for coming. We are going to start down the list. I think you've all got the order, but I'll repeat it. We'll start with Ed Bay, then Jim Deckard, then George McNichols, then Larry Arnold, then Jeremy Gilbert, and then Jeff Lombrecht. Actually, Ray, there are 6 candidates this time. There were 5 last time. And each of you will have 4 minutes and 50 seconds to present yourself and present your platform. Alex, you might want to wave. She's our timekeeper, and she will stop you if you go over. Most people don't go over, but if you do, we don't hold it against you too much. And then after everyone's had a chance to make their initial remarks, we will have questions. There should be some Rotarians with questions, I hope, and we'll have as many questions as there are, up to 3, and we'll rotate a little bit. Jim will be the first for question 1, and we'll go around the list. George will be the first one to answer question 2, and then Larry would be the first one to answer question 3. If we have 3 questions, there's no guarantee we've got that many. We'll just see how it goes. So without further ado, we're actually 1 minute late already. Ed, are you ready to start? If everybody else would please mute your mics, that would be helpful too. Okay.
Hello, I'm Ed Bay, and I am ready to start. Thank you all for having me. Thank you for the invitation. I'm one of 11 candidates running for school board. My wife, Tammy, and I came to Bedford in 1991. We've got 2 grown sons. Both of them graduated from North Lawrence Community Schools. I'm not a lifelong resident of Bedford. I have served in a volunteer capacity at a number of boards around town. Habitat for Humanity when it was here, on our church board, as well as Bedford Contingent Gun Range out north of town. My wife and I have facilitated more than 100 couples through Dave Ramsey's materials, and just been really rewarded with that. I retired back in 2015, but I just recently went back to work. I was offered a job at GM, so I'm working there, 3rd shift. That's rough on an old guy, but it keeps me busy, and you can get bored in retirement. The school board, in my opinion, has 2 responsibilities: it's to educate our children and to do it in a financially responsible manner. Right now, if you look at North Lawrence Community Schools, the graduation rate's about 80%. The state average is 88.6%. The state grade given to our school system is a C-. Back in April of 2020, U.S. News and World Reports ranked B&L 265th in the state of Indiana. The same report ranks B&L at 49.16 out of 100. Our reading and math scores in that same article are dismal. They're just not very good at all. I believe we can do better. I just believe we can do better. The academic side of our school system, in my opinion, is suffering. On the financial side, in 2019 through 2020, or the 2019-2020 school year, the North Lawrence Community School budget was approximately $52 million. That was consumed by 8 elementary schools, 3 middle schools, and a high school. At last week's school board meeting, I asked what the budget was going to be for 2020 and 2021. I was told it was going to be the same amount. I failed to understand how that can be possible. We've closed 4 schools. Spending is clearly out of control, but that's not information candidates have access to. Only the school board members have access to that. Once I can review it, I think I'll have a better understanding. My goal, should I be elected, would be to have North Lawrence Community Schools return to academic excellence, at least get up to the state average. I think we're better than that. I think we can do better than that. 14 Indiana high schools had graduation rates at 100% last year. I don't know if we could achieve that at B&L, but I know we can do better than 80. Lawrence County has not had a significant increase in population since the 1950s. Our average resident is in their early to mid 40s. That's all of us. U.S. Census shows a 1.7% decrease from 2010 to 2018 in Lawrence County. The 2020 census shows a similar decline. We have to take that information into consideration as we're making decisions to move the school system forward. We need to have excellence in our school systems. That's what young families look for, and they'll move to get them. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ed. Sorry, it took me a second to get unmuted. Next, we have Jim Deckard.
Hi, everybody. My name is William Deckard, but I go by Jim Deckard. I was born and raised in Lawrence County, graduated from B&L, went to Ivy Tech, went to Oakland City here in town. I was a commercial diver, underwater welder for the Navy also. I've been here for lifelong resident and will continue to be here a lifelong resident. I own Deckard Construction LLC. I own Deckard Properties LLC. I own Elite Home Health. I own Elite Personal Care. I own 4 businesses in Lawrence County. They do pretty good. We employ about over 100 individuals, and their kids all go to school at North Lawrence School System. Most of them do. And I see there's a lot of things that are going on that I don't quite like. I don't have family members that work at North Lawrence School Systems. I don't have children that go there. I think that there needs to be a lot of change. I think the people that are on the board now, most of them need to go because they're related somehow, and there's a lot of stuff that's going just sideways. I don't know really how to explain it. Ed gave a lot of statistics, so I mean, I'm not going to go over that and beat a dead horse. There's a lot of research that needs to be done. I'm reaching out to everybody and asking them, what can I do for, the school systems? What can I do for you besides telling you what I'm going to do? I'm just asking people. So I don't know if I'm going to get to this 5-minute mark or not, but that's about all I usually have.
Okay, thank you, Jim. Next person up is George McNichols.
Hello, Rowena. Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm George McNichols. I'd like to thank the Rotary Club for the opportunity to speak. A little bit about myself. I've educated in Bedford and North Lawrence Community Schools, K through 12. I graduated in 2000. Following my graduation from B&L, I went to Purdue. And after college, I moved to Indianapolis, and then I lived in Bloomington after that. 2015, I decided my wife and I had the opportunity to move back to Bedford, well, move back for me, and to start a family. And it was an opportunity for me to return to a community that I really care about. I have 2 children. One in diapers and the other in the Playful Pathways program. So bottom line, I'm going to be involved with NLCS for the foreseeable next 17 years. So, I mean, I've got to run, I've got a stake in this. I really want to see NLCS be as great as it can be. As far as work goes, I work for Tri-County Steel. It's a contracting company, defense contracting company out of Eastgate. I travel to Crane, and I travel in support of the surveillance project that I work on, which is a Marine-based project. I've been privileged to travel around not only the U.S., but also the world in support of our Marines and the other personnel in the DoD. Let's see. My work is, I find my work very rewarding. And one of the great things about my work is I get to work in group settings quite frequently. I find that I really excel in group environments. I consider myself an incredible team player. I love working in groups and having the ability to extract as much possible out of a group setting. The school board is a group. You need to be a facilitator, someone who's going to utilize all the pieces that are in the puzzle and make the most of what opportunities are brought to you. That's the school board. That's what needs to be happening with the school board. As I said, I'm a team player. Those are environments that I just can't get enough of. I'm always excited to be part of a group and develop really positive solutions to problems that we find ourselves dealing with. Concerning goals, now let's talk about functions of the school board. I think the school board is to act as a collective of community representatives working together to benefit the community. So a partnership where we come together to achieve common goals. I'm a big picture person. I'm not an expert in education. I spent a little time studying education in college, but you know what? That's not what I ended up with my degree in. But I do feel like the school board's chief purpose, or a chief function of the school board, is to enable the professionals that we have elected to employ, the people that we have put in power to run our school system. Let's give them as much power and as much support as possible. The school board can excel and can really elevate those individuals. I don't feel there's a need I don't need to be involved in the day-to-day. That's why we have a superintendent. That's why we have administrators. There's no need for me as a school board member to deal with that. I'm there to act as a representative of the community and really to steer the school board in that direction. So the opportunities that avail themselves, capitalizing on those and making the most of the opportunities that are made available to North Lawrence Community Schools. Oh, 1 minute warning. Thank you. All right. In a lot of ways, I feel like the school board should function like the Rotarians, right? It's people of action, uniting people of all backgrounds for a common goal. I'd like to finish with, I'm not running because I'm angry. I'm running because I'm excited. I really care about this community. I want the best for this community. I think the opportunities are there for NLCS and North Lawrence as a whole to really excel and bring it together. I think we're in a great spot to do nothing but prosper. And the heart of a community is its school system. The greater the school system, the greater the community. And that's just the bottom line. So the more that we can do for the school system, the better off we are. That's, in a nutshell, that's it. Early voting's begun, everybody. I'd be thrilled if you cast a ballot my way. Let's get it done, Lawrence County. Let's do some positive things. Let's make the best of our situation.
Good. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Larry, you're up next. Larry Arnold.
Okay, thank you. First of all, thank you to the Rotary Club for doing this forum. It's a great opportunity to speak. And then also I would like to mention that, to keep the Bailey family in your prayers with the loss of Wendell. Wendell was a transportation director for North Lawrence. I'm married to my wife, Karen. I retired from Tri-County Builders. My wife, Karen, is a lab manager at IU, Indiana University in Bloomington. I have 4 sons. 3 have served in the Air Force. 1 is active duty, and all of them attended North Lawrence schools. I moved to Bedford in 1990. I'm not from here. I worked at NLCS from 1991 to about 1998, and I was a teaching assistant with Charlie Wagner in the building trades program. And as you said, I currently serve on the board of North Lawrence Schools. I also serve on the board for the past 7 years of the Boys and Girls Club of Lawrence County. I've been a member of Landmark Baptist Church for over 28 years. And I also, as a board member, work with the North Lawrence Career Center on the Directors Advisory Board. And I'm excited about a lot of the new things that are happening. We have added some new classes at North Lawrence Career Center. We have a new director, a new counselor, and we have a great team in place. The cooperation between the Career Center and B&L is at an all-time high. We have a lot of opportunities out there, and my passion really is at Career Center. The jobs in this county, most of them are in the skilled trades. And if you look at the jobs that are open now, it's for classes that students can take at the North Lawrence Career Center. We've added over $400,000 worth of equipment to the North Lawrence Career Center. And the budget, as it is published in the newspaper, is $52 million. That's a lot of money. I realize that. But also 82% of that goes to our employees in salaries and benefits. So there is a great need to make the most of our budget, and we have done that. You know, teachers have gotten a pay increase of 2.3%. And so we are bringing our teacher salaries in line with the areas around us. And I know we just recently approved putting turf on several fields out at the high school. To me, this is a cost-saving move. We had bond issue money that was falling off. Our tax rate of 0.34% is the lowest in this area. Mitchell is quite a bit higher than us. Some of the new things we've done, George mentioned the Early Learning Center at Stalker Elementary. That's a new program. It provides a daycare for people from 6:30 in the morning till 6 o'clock in the afternoon. We also have created the Gateway Academy. It was mentioned about our graduation rate. The Gateway Academy helped to boost our graduation rate. The Gateway Academy is also located at Stalker School. This is something we have pushed for a long time, a way to keep students in school rather than doing suspension or expulsion. Let's keep them in school. Another exciting program is the Empire Learning Center. You know, this is something that this board has pushed for the past several years, an online academy. We got it started just in time for the pandemic that we're currently going through. There are a lot of good things happening in our school system, and I disagree with a lot of the negatives and stuff. We have good people working for us. We have good principals. There are many things to be excited about in North Lawrence schools, and I'm wanting to serve 4 more years to help keep the Career Center in the forefront and to keep making improvements to the Career Center. We just recently added a public safety, which is training for police officers. This is something that's needed. We have other programs we'd like to add. And I believe that North Lawrence schools can be better, and I think we can make North Lawrence schools better. And that's what I want to do.
Thank you, Larry. Next up is Jeremy Gilbert.
Hi, my name's Jeremy Gilbert, and I want to thank the Rotary Club for allowing all of us, including myself, to speak with you all today. I'll give you a little bit of my background. I was born and raised in Bedford, in the Bedford area. Went to Olytic and B&L, graduated in '97. I went to college because I wanted to be a teacher. So at a young age, I knew I wanted to do something for our kids, our community. So I went to Oakland City University, and I have an elementary education degree with a middle school endorsement, so I can teach 1 through 8. So with that background, I have an idea of what teachers go through every day, and I know it's not easy. Some of it, I think we're making headway. We're giving teachers more and more every year to be able to teach our kids, and some of it is maybe a state issue. But go back to the vision I have for our school system, our school community, which I when I ran 4 years ago, it was similar to it is now. My vision for our school district is to continue the growth of every student and give each one the tools to be productive members of our community. I felt like after talking to a tremendous amount of teachers and staff from 2016 until now, they always say we need more, we need to do more, we need change. Sometimes change can be a broad word, but I feel like in the 4 years that I've been on the board, we've done a lot of good things. Some people think it's negative, but I'm excited for what we're doing in our community, and I want to be able to be a part of the continued growth. So some positives that I think we've done is we started Empire Learning Academy, which has been a tremendous asset to our school corporation. Out at the high school this year, we've started trimesters, and I think it kind of lessens the burden on kids on homework, because our dynamics of our families have changed, and it's tough for kids to get help at home. So I think lessening that burden will help, along with they're able to take more classes in their high school career, so they're more ready for going to college or going to a trade school. And with trade school, with that being said, we've done, I think, and Larry is the same as me. We love the Career Center. I'm a skilled tradesman by trade. I've worked for General Motors for 20 years. So I've been in the skilled trades realm of things on my own, and I just love the Career Center. So that's one of the positives that we've done. And also we've started having SROs in all the middle schools and the high school a few years ago. I think that's a great part of what we're doing that's positive. Hopefully we'll be able to continue to do that. We've also started the early learning, the playful pathways at Stalker, which I think is excellent. And the Gateway Academy, where kids who aren't kind of in the cookie cutter of the normal education system, they're able to go there and able to graduate and do positive things in the community. One of the big things that I ran on 4 years ago, and I want to continue this, I would like to see this play out, is teachers are leaving at an alarming rate. And it's not necessarily just Bedford, but it is Bedford, and that's my community. That's what I want to see get better. And I know we've lost some great teachers, and I think a big part of it is our pay. We're between $5,000 and $15,000 difference on pay scale. We have had to close schools, which unfortunately I'm upset we had to close schools too. I think it should have been done a long time ago, but I think it was the right thing to do to move forward to better our school system in every way, whether it be offering more things for the kids and offering more for our staff and administrators. I mean, if they're happy, they're excited to go to school, they're going to be ready to teach our kids every day. So I think we have to bridge that gap and get our pay structure in line with other school systems, and especially in Southern Indiana. And to do that, we needed to shore up our financial stability.
That's time. Sorry, I hate to interrupt you guys.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you guys allowing me to speak. If you have any questions, you're welcome to contact me through Facebook or my school email. I'll be glad to talk to you. So,
Thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Okay, and our last candidate today is Jeff Lombricht. Go, Jeff.
Thank you, Rowena. Thank you, the Rotary Club, for allowing us this opportunity to speak and to be a part of this forum, and I really appreciate that. Well, I'm Jeff Lombricht. I was on the board 8 years ago, and I've enjoyed my time away from the board. I served 2 terms then, and I would just like to get back onto the board to see if I could resume the good things we were doing then. I have been a lifelong resident of Lawrence County. I graduated from Bedford North Lawrence High School, attended Shawswick and Lincoln along the way, and the Career Center as well. So I'm very active in the Free Methodist Church. I'm active with 4-H, and I'm really active in the community. really love Bedford, and I'm like Mr. Deckard. I don't intend to go anywhere anytime soon. So, my work schedule is very flexible, so I can do whatever I need to do for the school board. I know that being on it 8 years ago, I know that sometimes there's odd meetings or you need to meet and do things, and I have the flexibility to do that. And I think the current board has done an okay job. I mean, things had to be changed. Heltonville, you couldn't have school with 100 students. That's just a tough situation. I know that there had to be some closures. I know the finances. I've been through that $50 million budget 8 times. So I know that it's something that you really got to keep your eyes on and figure out how to make that work, and figure out how to get our teachers more money and our support staff more money, and just everybody. I know we've lost good people because of just, we can't pay enough money. Like even Mitchell pays so much more than we do. And so I think we need more common sense in our school system. For some reason, it just seems like we throw things out there, and then if it doesn't work, oh, well, now we got to change our direction and do something. I think just a more common sense approach would really go a long way for us. And that's really all I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jeff. So now that each of you have presented your platforms, we're going to go to questions. Do we have a Rotarian with a question? I have a question, but I was thinking of more questions. Can you guys hear me? Did I freeze? Is anybody out there?
I can hear you.
Good. Okay. The lack of response was a little worrisome. Anyway, so my question is, there's this time-honored response to a shortage of money, which is closing schools and reducing staff. So what I would like to hear from each of you is your out-of-the-box ideas for saving money or making money or improving the fiscal situation of the school system that is not closing schools and reducing staff. So we'll start with Jim Deckard. Jim, you're up.
Couldn't quite hear you on some of the things. I don't know if your service is that good or maybe it's in mine. What was the question?
It might help if I turn on my mic. Okay, so I'll ask the question again. We all know that the sort of normal response to a shortage of money is to close buildings and reduce staff, right? Okay. So my question is, what are your out-of-the-box ideas for helping to overcome some of the school system's fiscal difficulties that do not involve closing buildings and reducing staff?
Well, you know, being in the construction company, you always got twists and turns. So it's like you got to pre-plan for everything and plan for the next possible outcome. Closing schools, I don't quite like it. I didn't see it quite coming. I know that there was a lot of things out there. The budget, I think it could have been looked at really hard, closer than what they looked at it. You know, when the coronavirus hit and all these hurricanes came through, it's like 2x4s used to be $2 and now they're up to almost $30. So you got to kind of do different things and take different avenues when you're in business, and you kind of got to roll with it from time to time. But it's just, you got to pinch every penny you can out of things and not do this spending like they're kind of doing on some things. I don't agree with the AstroTurf at all. The longevity of it, the maintenance, and everything that goes along with it. I just don't think it's a good idea, but apparently it's going to pass, or it's already passed. You just got to pinch a penny any way you can and try not to close schools, if that answers your question.
Okay, thank you. Next, George McNichols.
Rowena, I didn't prepare for this question per se, but I will say that I don't necessarily have the direct answer for that. What I can say is that in times like these, you turn to the leadership that you have in place. You've empowered those people to know the best path forward. I think utilizing those resources and speaking to the local leadership your administration and the teachers will give you the greatest ideas as the most sensible ways to go ahead and find the best solution possible for this problem. I don't think there's an easy answer to this. And given the current circumstance where there is quite a concern of money, and I mean, it's always about money, let's face facts. That doesn't mean that you need to take drastic actions. If you've got people who are in place who know what to do or have the best idea of what to do, empower those individuals and utilize that resource to make the best collective decision possible.
Thank you. Larry.
Okay. Well, as most of you may know, I didn't vote in favor of closing the schools. I knew we had to do something. The state reimbursement for Fayetteville and Heltonville was less. It cost us more to operate it than what we got from the state. We were losing money at those schools, and Springville was about a break even. So, you know, this was what we had to do. This was what was decided to do. We are doing things. We talked about adding the Empire Academy, allowing students to do online. Also with the Gateway Academy, keeping more kids in school, adding programs at the North Lawrence Career Center. We are a hub for Mitchell, Orleans, Shoals, Medora, and Brownstown. So when those students come and take classes at the Career Center, we receive money, tuition money from the state to support the Career Center. You know, did we want to close schools? No. But again, it comes back to fiscal responsibility. And I think that's something that we have been doing. We haven't reduced any staff. We still have the same number of teachers. We had teachers that retired that were not replaced, but as far as riffing any teachers or laying teachers off in order to save money, we didn't do that. And oh, okay. Sorry.
Thank you, Larry. Next is Jeremy.
All right, good question. I think short of not closing any schools, if that was something that we weren't going to do to save money, you have to look at your HVAC, stuff like that, your lighting. I mean, we just started changing out lights to be more energy efficient. Stuff like that are things that maybe most people don't see us doing, but we are always trying to find ways without sacrificing children's education, ways to save money or even make money. A good example, possibly bringing more money into our school system, is offering the Empire Learning Academy. We're hoping to bring kids from all over the place to be able to have an education that way. So I think you always have to try to offer more opportunities. Larry mentioned the Career Center. That's a great way to keep kids in school. I think that is part of it too. You want to try to minimize the amount of kids who might drop out for whatever reason. Try to help them stay in school, and inevitably that will help shore up some finances if we can slow that progression and offer them more. So that's pretty much it.
Thank you. Jeff.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Thank you.
I think that there's always ways to trim the fat. There's always, no business is ran as efficiently as it can be, and the school system is no different. I think that you just have to look around and find out where that waste is. I currently am a bus driver, and I know that there's waste. You see it here and there. It's not huge, but a lot of times you get to, that's the way it's always been done. Well, maybe there's a better way we can save a few dollars. And so I think that we just need to look hard at doing things in a more efficient and more economical way sometimes, and still benefit our kids and take care of our staff and keep those buildings open. Thank you.
Thank you. And last is Ed. Turn on your mic, Ed.
There we go. There we go. $52 million is a huge budget, especially for a school system the size of Bedford. We have more coaches than we have teachers. there's just a number of places where we're overboard in one place and understaffed somewhere else. That budget needs to be reviewed line item by line item. The lack of transparency at North Lawrence Community Schools has actually hurt the school system more than it's helped it. They just refuse to provide the information to the public and get the public's feedback so that the public can actually help. And that needs to end. And hopefully that will end with this election, or it'll at least push the board in that direction.
Thank you. Any other Rotarians have questions to ask of the board?
Just one from your president. That is, what's the difference between the tri-semester and the past setup we had? Any one of you can answer that.
We'll start with George McNichols and go. Everybody gets the same opportunity to answer.
Okay.
Raymond, thanks. Guys, my understanding of the tri-semester versus the traditional semester is, I got to tell you that when I was in school, we had, standard separate semesters. I think, and forgive me if I'm a little unaware here, but I believe the tri-semester is set up so that you can capitalize on a longer school year. You'll have to forgive me, but I don't necessarily know the correct answer to that question, you guys. As I have attested to, I am not an expert in education. My goal is to help collectively put forth the best ideas and capitalize on the opportunities that the school system can really assist with. And defining trimester versus semester, that's not necessarily going to be a school board function.
The reason I asked that question was that they said they didn't have to do as much homework. Seems to me like you want to increase the knowledge rather than do less homework.
Okay.
Well-
Ray, we have 5 more candidates, so let's let all of them weigh in. Larry, you're next.
Okay.
Okay. Well, the main reason, and I'm not an expert on trimesters versus semesters, but when the people at the high school say this provides better educational opportunities for our students, you go with the experts. They did a lot of study on it. We ask a lot of questions about it. Basically, it is longer class time, I believe is what they said. Plus, it allows them to take more classes. And so by doing this, they have more time in class to do work, which may result in less homework. And also it allows them to take more classes, and it also allows them not to get burnt out, I guess, is on some classes that are, a semester long.
Okay, thank you, Larry. Next is Jeremy.
And thank you, Raymond, for asking that question. I'll try to clear that up. What I mean by less homework is they'll have less classes per night. Like a trimester is a 12-week trimester. So there's 5 classes or so they do for during the day, which the class time is longer than what it was in the past. When they just do the semesters, they have 6 or 7 classes. So I guess what I meant by less homework is they have less classes they have to study for at night. So that's kind of my point, and not necessarily less work, but just less classes they have to concentrate on at one time. And like Larry said, I'm no expert at it, but when you have all the admin that says trimesters are a good thing, it's a positive thing. It allows the kids to have more credit hours as they graduate, so they'll be more prepared to possibly take AP courses and stuff like that for college that they'll already have had. I just think it's a great thing. And there's many other school districts around our area that are doing very similar type semesters, so trimesters. So thanks.
Thank you, Jeremy. Jeff?
Yes, I will agree that I'm not an expert on the education field, and so, but my understanding of the trimester is it is just what they've said. It's a longer class period, and you have more trimesters, so they get to get some more diversity of their classes. So they get to experience different classes, try a different class and see how that works out for them, and just it's a more diverse, and it's better for the kids to their learning. So, thank you.
Thank you. Ed Bay. Yeah, turn on your mic. Thank you.
I'm sorry. It's my understanding that we used to have 6 weeks, we got a report card, 6 weeks, we got a report card. Now it's 12 weeks, and there's 3 12-week periods instead of 6 6-week periods like it was when I went to school. I'm uncertain what other benefits there are to that, other than it lightens the load for the teacher as well as the students, because they don't have to take home a report card every 6 weeks versus every 12 weeks.
Okay. Thank you, Ed. And Jim, you're the last one for this question. Jim Deckard, you still with us? Seems like we may have lost Mr. Deckard. Can the rest of you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
One
You
thing,
never know with Zoom if you're just talking to yourself, Okay, well, it seems like we lost Jim. Maybe he'll come back on. Does anyone else have a question they'd like to ask?
can I just say one thing? The trimesters are only at the high school. The rest of the schools are still on the traditional semesters. Trimesters is only at the high school.
Rowena,
Thank you.
Rowena, I have a question.
Okay, go.
One of the best predictors of success. I'd like to know what the prospective board members would do to encourage parental involvement in schools through PTAs or whatever.
Ray, you cut out a little bit, and I think they may have missed part of the question. Can you repeat it?
I say one of the best predictors of success in school is parental involvement. And I would like to know what these board members would do to encourage parental involvement in the schools to help the students in their success.
Can I answer your question?
I'm sorry. I was just talking to Jim Deckard. His internet went out. So who asked to answer the question?
I did.
Who's I?
Ed Bay.
Ed. Well, normally you would be the fourth in line, but if you're in a
Oh,
hurry,
that's
you can
okay.
go ahead.
I'll
As
wait
if
my
the other
turn.
participants don't object. We're trying to mix it up, and you went first earlier, but go ahead, unless somebody else wants to go first. You're good.
Did you say me?
Yep, you're good.
Oh, okay. I think just what we're using right now. Social media is powerful. Parents are pressed for time. They use every minute to raise their children and to make enough money to raise their children. But social media is a powerful, powerful tool. And just imagine having a parent-teacher conference with your teacher and both parents, even if those two parents are not living together anymore, and the child all at one time. I believe that can get everybody involved in the child's life and in their school life. There are just so many tools out there now that we didn't have before. And you're right. Successful kids have involved parents.
Thank you, Ed. Who'd like to answer next? Let's just throw it out there.
Well,
Jeremy.
Go ahead, Larry, if you want. No matter. I agree with what Ed said. I mean, a learning environment for a child is the first and foremost. It's all about their parents, who they live with, and how much they are involved. And social media is a huge aspect of that in our lives anymore. So I know a couple of years ago, our school system has started Facebook. North Lawrence has a Facebook page. Many of our schools have their own Facebook pages. Get on there, pay attention to what they're doing, get involved that way. Volunteer after school. I mean, I know something I do. I volunteer and I help with after school programs. When Parkview used to have a running program, I'd always go and run or walk with the kids just to be with them. I volunteer coaching basketball. I mean, I'll just do whatever the school system needs done. I'd be glad to help. So, but I do agree with Ed on social media. It's a huge way to get communication out, and I think that's good.
Thank you. Larry, go ahead.
okay. Well, to me, one of the best things is having students here was when we had Power School. You know, we would get messages. We could check our child's grades and we could even check to see if they turned in homework. Unfortunately, a lot of parents don't use the Power School. Like as Jeremy said, we have a Facebook page. Most of the websites have been updated for this year. But it's tough, especially at this time, because a lot of kids aren't living with their parents. A lot of them are living with grandparents, and now we're even seeing great grandparents, you know, with kids, and it's sad to see this. So I think anything we can do to get parents involved. We sent out a survey this year, and we had an overwhelming response to it. And so I think we need to do more surveys. We need to see what's on parents' minds.
Thank you. Jeff.
Yes, great question, Ray. I think that these guys have all been right. I think technology is huge, and we need to meet people where they are. Just like Larry said, we have grandparents and great grandparents, so they're not going to do Facebook. But we need to know that those are the people that need the phone call, that want to talk to you. Need the face-to-face. To where the newer generation, Facebook and the internet is all they use. So I think all of those things are really good ways to get people involved in our school. And everyone is so busy, and it takes so much to make a living these days that it's hard to squeak out the time just to meet with the teacher or do what you need to do. But I think as a school system, as a board, we have to encourage all of those things to get out and reach our students' needs and help with the parent, teacher, guardian, whatever, even there's so many guardians even that aren't parents taking care of kids. Just get everybody involved. So thank you.
Thank you. And George.
All right, guys. Well, really, essentially everyone's on social media. Regardless of age, pretty much everyone has a smartphone in their pocket. So really maximizing the exposure it's a great tool. And let's maximize the exposure that we can give, so we can maximize the opportunities that parents and caregivers have to be as involved in this community and in education as possible. Ultimately, you can open that door and swing that door as wide open as possible. So you've just got to make it convenient. But it all boils down to the people that want to be involved are going to be involved. So you need to make it. You've got to entice people. So make the offers as enticing as we can. A strong social media campaign would be great for the school. Honestly, we have enough people. We could make that happen. Charge some of the students with that, but that might be disastrous. But anyways, ultimately, like I said, you just got to make it available, and hopefully you can ease access to it as much as you can. But it's at the parents' discretion whether they are or not going to be involved.
Super. Thank you. That concludes our forum. And I just want to remind you candidates, if you want to be quoted the way you want to be quoted, please send me your notes. You can email them to rcross11@msn.com. Those will be seen by the Rotarians at a minimum, and who knows if they get shared. So if you want to make sure that I got you right, you can send your stuff there. Thank you all for coming, and I'm passing this meeting back to our President, Ray Briggs.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate every participant's responsibility today and explanations of their feelings toward the school board. And we appreciate so much your being with us, and I thank you. Did want to tell the Rotarians one other thing, that this year, the RILA program, which is Rotary Youth Program, is going to be a virtual program this year on computer, on Zoom. And so we can have as many involvements, individuals from high school that we want. So on order, we generally have 2 each year. And then last year, I think we had 4. And now this year, it's an open door. So let's give the young people an opportunity, pass the word around to the school counselors that they can be part of the leadership program that Rotary puts out for our young people in high school. We can tell you more about that if anybody will mention it in our minutes. If you'll do that, please, Rowena.
I will do that.
All right. Do we have any other questions from members today regarding this program, or any other question for me to answer for you? All right. One other thing, I'm going to just remind you that there will be a board meeting at Ken and Donna's house, 8:30 a.m. in the morning on next Monday. That's the 28th of September. We also want to remind everybody how we live as Rotarians, what makes us quality people, which is always important to bring up. And this will conclude our meeting, so we'll say our 4-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? And of course, have we enjoyed it, or has it been fun? Thank you for your attendance today. The information you've shared with us, school board folks, and we do thank you again for being part of this program. Have a good day, and may the Lord bless you all.
Thank you
you.
all.
Thank
Have a
you.
great day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.